Hi there. My name is
Hey,
Scott
Scott.
Marker. Hi there, Chris. Hey, today these are what I've been doing. Started doing is called Treasure Valley NIA tips, and what they are is here in the Treasure Valley. I'm just trying to bring in local, high caliber local experts in their fields, and try to be able to give them a couple tidbits of wisdom that can help people out in these challenging times when most of the workforces are working out of their homes. And so today I brought in Chris Adams. Chris, introduce yourself.
Hey, Scott. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Hey, my name is Chris Adams, president of the Adams Technology Group. Um, we're a local technology partner here in Boise, and we've been really busy over these last 4 weeks setting up a whole bunch of small satellite home offices for our customers. And yeah, it's been really interesting working with firms and our customers, getting them to get their workforce at home, right? Working from home.
Yep.
But what's really been interesting is helping them understand what they can be doing from a workflow standpoint to be efficient and effective. And, just taking your computer home is just kind of the one thing, right? So, so I just want to kind of talk about like 4 or 5 things that we've been seeing out there, just to kind of bring everyone up to speed and kind of give them some value for maybe they can ask some questions or, give them some tools to be more productive, right? Because at the end of the day, we still have customers to take care of, right? So we have our customers to take care of, and we have to take care of them so they can take care of their customers, right? We all have to be, in alignment, because just going from home, you still have to be intentional with your time. You have to be productive. You have to be efficient. You still have to have communication, all these other stuff. And so I'm hoping I can give you guys some pretty cool tips on what to do. So I think the first big thing is we've probably been hearing a lot about VPNs. Okay, so there's some really cool things about VPNs, but there's also some pitfalls to that, and not a lot of people understand what those are. So let's just put some clarity around this. Number one, if you're going home to work remote, you're going to need a computer. So either your company is going to provide that, and then you're going to put it onto your home network, or you're actually going to have to use your home PC, right? And we've been doing kind of a mixed bag of both. We've actually even had employees take their computer home or take their computer from their desk and actually take it home, right? Because it's got more horsepower, it's more efficient, and it's, quite frankly, it's kind of protected and dedicated to them. So first and foremost, if you're going to be doing any remote connectivity into your corporate network, you got to be using a VPN. The issue with the VPN is, point number one, is that when you take your computer home and you establish a VPN connection into your corporate network, whatever toxicity is sitting on that device now just became on your network, right? Just because it's not protected behind your firewall, we've just poked a hole in it. So it's really, really important to make sure that whatever computer you're using to connect to your corporate network is clean, okay? So there are 2 programs that I recommend. Both are free, but one of them has a paid service that you can use to kind of quote unquote scrub the computer before you do anything connecting up to your VPN, okay? And I think, Scott, I'll give you the links and you can put them down in the information.
Yeah, we'll put them in the show notes.
People can, so people can have them. Number one is a program called rkill. It's the first program that you're going to need to run. And what that does is it goes in and it looks for a bunch of nasty stuff, right? So you go in, download it. We'll give you the link so you can make sure you get the right one. Run the program, let it do its thing. It's kind of a deep clean. And then once that gets done, you need to go down and download another program and run that. And that's what we like. That one is Malwarebytes. Okay. Now, Malwarebytes has got a free installation. And then, hey, there's my office mate right there. And so You can download that, either the free version, and run it. And hey, I'm doing a video here. Sorry, Scott. Here, I'll come
That's
see you
cool.
in a second.
You can just back up and do it again.
No, it's good. And so download Malwarebytes. Now, the key is you don't want to do a restart after you run rkill, because it's going to bring up some stuff, and then you're going to run Malwarebytes right on top of it. Now, I would recommend buying the subscription to Malwarebytes and just kind of letting her run. Because the thing with Malwarebytes, like any free anti-malware, antivirus, is the free versions just aren't quite as potent and up to speed. Okay? When you buy the full version of Malwarebytes, it's constantly updating the database and keeping your system clean. On the free versions, you have to download and you have to manually run the install. So those are a couple of tidbits on VPNs. VPNs are really, really powerful, but you have to have a clean computer before you connect up. Because here's the deal. If you're using a PC and it's got a piece of malware on it, right, CryptoLocker or BitLocker, you know, any of that other stuff, and you connect up it, that will go through the VPN and it will affect the network on site. So it's a bad deal. You got to make sure that you got a clean computer, whether it be a laptop or a desktop, whatever it is. So, and those are two really good tips even to use for your home computer, right? Even if it's not using for work. So that's really on the VPN side. So you got to be using a VPN, make sure it's clean apparatus. Number two, we've been probably hearing a little bit about slow Wi-Fi. Okay, so slow Wi-Fi, some people would assume that the internet, quote unquote, the internet is slow. And that may not always be the case. If you're using like a standard CenturyLink modem, right? And I'm just talking about what we have here for our residential providers, CenturyLink modem or a Cable One modem with built-in Wi-Fi, there's a couple of things going on. First of all, those devices aren't really built to handle a lot of devices connected up to it to manage the throughput that it needs to deliver to get out to the internet. So you may be experiencing slow internet because you got a bad piece of equipment that is just not going to ever allow you to have the capacity and the throughput to make that happen. We recommend using a standalone wireless access point from Ubiquiti. I've got it sitting here. It's what I use in my house. We've actually recommended it to a lot of other people just to have good, clean Wi-Fi. So, and I can give you the link to that down below. You can get it off Amazon. But it's letting the Wi-Fi manage the Wi-Fi network, right? Because those devices, they just don't have the radio power to broadcast, right? Because we've also, you know, our office is in, you know, the corner of the house, and that Wi-Fi just doesn't necessarily reach out to us, right? So having good Wi-Fi. So just because you have, you know, slow Wi-Fi doesn't mean you have slow internet, right? The other thing that you can do, a lot of people do like speed tests, right? They go out to speedtest.net and to do some speed tests and whatnot. But that's kind of indicative of, if you have bad Wi-Fi, you're going to have a bad speed test. You know what I mean? So if you're going to do a true speed test, pro tip, you need to plug directly into your modem with Ethernet. It's always best to do a speed test via Ethernet. All right, so those are just a couple of the things that we typically do, because when you're connected up on VPN, you're downloading programs, you're doing Zoom calls, you're going to have a decent amount of internet. And then when you got your kids at home, right, they're doing their school stuff and they're, you know, streaming, you know, YouTube and National Geographic and Disney Plus. I mean, I need to jump in and see what kind of traffic we're generating, but there's a lot of internet activity going on here at our house, right? So clean Wi-Fi is really, really important, and that's what our recommendation is there. One of the other things, we're always going to be talking about email security, right? Just because you're working from home doesn't mean you're not going to be susceptible to email hackers, right? Those are still going on. In fact, they're being more prevalent because now they're pandering to, you know, coronavirus and a lot of clickbait and stuff like that. My recommendation my recommendation is reply and verify. If there is something that just doesn't seem right that you're getting, that you've never really been asked before, hit the reply button, put in a little note, hey, I just got this request, is this legitimate? Whatever it is, and send it back out to them, okay? Two things are gonna happen. Either it's gonna be legit and they're gonna reply to you and say, yeah, that's me. Or two, you're not gonna get any response, or you're gonna get a bounce back because it's not a legitimate email address, okay? Reply and verify. Say it with me, Scott. Reply and verify.
Yeah, I've never heard that
Verify.
before.
Well, it's just because I made it up. That's our tagline. It's so important. It's probably the single biggest security problem that we have is coming out of email phishing scams. So just because you're working from home, you're still susceptible to that. Reply and verify.
Probably more
right?
susceptible.
That's cool. You are more susceptible because you're out of the network. Like, so we put in these big hardened firewalls that are doing all kinds of protective services from the DNS level, from the logical level. And when you get out of that environment, you're exposed, right? And one of the other things is Cable One and CenturyLink modems really aren't quote unquote firewalls. They're just routers, right? So you got to be really, susceptible, or at least understand what that really means. So reply and verify. One of the business productivity tools we're using right here, I think everyone who didn't know about Zoom knows about Zoom. You know what I mean? Incredible video conferencing tool, pretty easy to use, creates a lot of connection. We're doing 2 or 3 Zoom calls a day, right? I mean, it's kind of the norm. One of the other ones that's really easy to use if you're a Google guy is going to be Google Hangouts. The thing that's cool with Google Hangouts is if you're in the Google ecosystem, is that it's native. So it just integrates right into Chrome. There's no download. Like with Zoom, you got to kind of download, you got to upload. So for calendaring and sending that, Google Hangouts is really powerful. And Google has also, their premium service for Google Hangouts is now free. Right? So they've obviously stepped up. So a lot of people like Google Hangouts, that's cool. So Zoom. Okay, but I'm going to give you two cool things that a lot of people don't talk about, right? Because Zoom meetings are good for meetings, right? But what happens and you're out of the environment and you still need to have a, kind of a quick chat, and you can't peek your head over the cubicle or walk around the corner and have a conversation. You still need to have that quick response, right? And Zoom's not going to do it. And email sometimes is too slow. So one of the programs that we use a lot and has a free service tied to it is a program called Slack. S-L-A-C-K. And it's free. And it's a really powerful chat system. So you could give it to 10 employees. Let's say 3 of them are in accounting, 3 of them are in accounts receivable. You can have a group chat where everyone's in, or you can create up these channels where just the departments are in. We use it religiously, right? We even have customers tied into us so they can actually real-time chat with us. So write that down, Slack, right? So if you get, your accounting department used to be in one area in your organization, and now they're all working from home. Instead of picking up the phone, or you're not going to do a Zoom, you're not going to send an email. Slack is definitely a really powerful communication tool to make that happen. And I just had a conversation with one of my customers, Landon, about the same thing, right? He's trying to figure out, okay, Chris, okay, we gotta figure this out, right? Because we're sending more people home, we're being, proactive, we're being safe, we're following the rules, but I still got a, business to run here. And I said, listen, you gotta look at Slack, and it's free, right? So it's good on the budget. Now, the one that we're using, so we use Slack too, but one of the things that's really important for us is the way that we have our organization to provide a super high level of customer service, right, in our culture, because that's one of our competitive differentiators, is the communication that we have between the team about how we resolve a problem, okay? So we actually are using a program called Discord. Now, this is kind of funny. This is what gamers use to communicate between themselves while they're playing video games. Okay? Now, Justin, who's our senior engineer, is actually the guy, the one that brought it up when we were sitting down saying, okay, listen, we're going to go remote. What's going to be the best way to bring up comms? And the really cool thing about Discord is it is a live video, and well, I shouldn't say so much video. It's a live audio session. So think about it like an air traffic controller. Okay. All the chatter coming in, right? So all of our guys, you have their headsets, right? So tied to their computers, we're using soft phones. They can be in Discord chatting between themselves in real time. So as tickets come in or phone calls come in, the guys can collaborate between themselves the same way that we did in the office. So like on my phone right now, I could go into the Discord channel and I could click on the audio and I can go in and I can hear all the conversations between the guys. So we are still providing a really high level of customer service using technology. And the cool thing that I like about that is that it kind of keeps the morale up for the team, right? Because, you know, working from home, I was just at the office yesterday because we were doing, you know, quarterly stuff. I mean, it's like, it's a ghost town. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, there was a lot of energy and a lot of creativity, a lot of collaboration and stuff in there because that's the culture that we create. Discord kind of allows us to continue to have that culture and still provide a high level of customer service, because just because we're working from home doesn't mean or doesn't give us the excuse not to continue to provide a high level of customer service. We just have to do it differently.
Right.
Right. And that's, you know, some of the things that technology does for us. Right. Everyone is inconvenienced. And the thing is that you could look at this from a victim role, or you can look at this from an opportunity role and figure out, okay, maybe this is a good time to look at our processes and figure out what's not been working and what we can do to make it better, to give our customers a better, you know, experience. So there's always two ways to look at that. So, you know, obviously we work in the technology space. That's about 25% of what I do in my organization. These are some cool things, but really, how are we continuing to manage our customer interaction using technology? And those are just, you know, Zoom, Slack, and Discord. Most people aren't going to do Discord. But just to be aware that there are some really cool technologies out there that we can be, you know, utilizing to continue to do what we do, you know, remotely.
Those are some great tips. I really appreciate that. Yeah, those are some great ones, because again, one of the goals to these short videos is to bring in experts like you that have been in the industry before people knew it was an industry. You know, you don't look that old. But you've been in it for a long time. But I mean, a lot of times, a lot of these tools and stuff, people just don't think about. But now they're thrust upon them that they have to, you know, do something, be more productive. And I really agree with you on is right now, you know, every bad thing, something good comes out of it. And I really think that once things get back, you know, a vaccine invented or whatever, that I think people are going to still go, wow, we can work remotely more and, you know, efficiently. And it's only because we had to go through some tough times. So,
yeah, well, exactly. I mean, it's like, okay, so what do you want to look back, right? Let's say put yourself 60 days out and put yourself in those shoes and look back and say, okay, you know what? This is what I wanted to learn, right? This is what I wanted to be coming out of this pandemic.
Yeah.
Right. And then work backwards and say, okay, these are the things I need to do, right? Whether that's from, you know, your family, whether that's from your personal finances, whether that's from your company, it doesn't matter, right? You got to be in a state of growing. So I just wanted to tell this funny, right? So you and I are talking before the recording, right? So I was selling computers at Boise State before we had Ethernet. There was barely internet, right? And so when we used to game, right, we used to borrow the computers from the bookstore computer, and we would take them to a house and we would run Apple Talk, right, because we were playing on Macs. Apple computers back then. Apple Talk. That was the way that we used to game. Hundreds and hundreds of feet of Apple Talk cord. Later, one was in the kitchen, one was in the living room, one was in the back part of the house, and that's what we used to do for gaming. So, all of this technology, it's really just right at our fingertips. So yeah, I've been doing this a long time.
That's great. Well, perfect. Hey, Chris, real quick, how can people get a hold of you? Just give me two quick ways. Best way
Yeah,
if they want to learn more about what you do.
Yep, help at smadatek.com. That's Adams backwards, SMADATEK.com, help at smadatek.com. That goes in, hits a ticket. But if you want to get a hold of me direct, easiest way is my email, cadams@smadatek.com. And then we still have phones, 208-906-8318.
Perfect. And we'll make
The
sure
guys
those
will answer.
Yeah, we'll make sure those are in the show notes. But hey, I really, really appreciate that. This has been very helpful, not only for, I think, some of the people who watch this, but for me. Because there's a lot of things when you've been going along, I'm thinking, I probably should do some of that. So
yeah, you got to, the programs are out there. You got to you just got to be safe, right? I mean, email phishing is probably still going to be going on. We haven't seen it like lock down a computer on the personal side yet, but it's going to be coming,
perfect.
And whatnot too. So listen, Scott, I appreciate what you're doing, and glad to be part of the team and the group, and you know how to get a hold of me.
I do. Hey, thanks a lot, Chris.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Thanks.